Now coming to question number 71. The question here is, consider the following statements with reference to India. And as you can see, this particular question is a question with respect to MSME sector. So before discussing the answer to this particular question, let us find out as to why was this question asked in this year prelims examination. So when you look at the definition of micro, small and medium enterprises, that is how the enterprises are categorized into micro, small and medium. Earlier definition was based upon how much money have these companies invested. So the classification was based upon the amount of investment. But in the year 2020, when the Indian economy was affected by COVID-19 pandemic, that time the finance minister announced Atmanirbhar Bharat package. One aspect of Atmanirbhar Bharat package was change in the definition of MSME sector. As per the revised classification, now the industries will be categorized as micro, small and medium, not just based upon investment, but we would also take into account their annual turnover as well. So earlier, enterprises were categorized solely based upon their investment, but now the enterprises are categorized based upon both investment as well as their annual turnover. This is the latest development, and that is why this question was asked in the prelims examination. So let's get the information which is required to answer this particular question. So we all know the importance of the MSME sector. The MSME is considered to be a backbone of Indian economy because it contributes almost around 28% of GDP. It contributes for 45% of manufacturing output and 40% of our exports. And as you can see earlier, with respect to categorization of enterprises into micro, small and medium, we used to take into account only one criteria, which is investment. For example, let's say there is an enterprise which I own. In this particular enterprise, I have made an investment of up to rupees 25 lakh. Then my enterprise will be considered as a micro enterprise. As soon as I increase my investment to more than 25 lakhs, my enterprise no longer remains a micro enterprise. It goes on to become a small enterprise. And similarly, being an entrepreneur of a small enterprise, if I increase my investment to more than 5 crores, my enterprise goes on to become a medium enterprise. So here, as you can see, we used to have a different criteria for the manufacturing enterprises and a different criteria for service sector enterprises. But what is the problem here? The problem in this particular case is, we all know that micro, small and medium enterprises, they get a number of benefits from the government. For example, they get benefits in terms of public procurement policy. They get benefit in terms of priority sector lending, which means if they increase their investment above a threshold level, they will no longer remain MSME. And if they no longer remain MSME, they will not be able to get benefits of the government. Because of which the MSME sectors, they continue to remain small rather than grow bigger. Now, for example, if I am an entrepreneur of a medium-sized enterprise, I would not make an investment of more than 10 crores, because if I make an investment of more than 10 crores, I will lose the status of MSME and hence I will not be able to get the benefit of priority sector lending. So this was a fundamental problem. So it being said that in India, incentive to stay smaller is much higher than the incentive to grow bigger. That is why, as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package, we have changed the definition of MSMEs. So now, the first change which we have taken is, we are not just looking at investment. Apart from investment, we are also taking into account the annual turnover. That's the first change. Second change is, As you can see, earlier we used to have two different criteria for manufacturing and service-based enterprise. But now we have adopted a same criteria. In particular, please focus on the criteria for the medium-sized enterprise. Here, you need to have an investment of less than 50 crores and you need to have a turnover of less than 250 crores. And only when both these thresholds are breached, the industry will lose its status as a medium-sized enterprise. So this is an important change which has taken place, and that is why we had a question which was asked in Prelims 2023. So coming back to the question here, if you read the first statement, according to MSME Act 2006, the medium enterprises are those which have investments in plant and machinery between 15 crores to 25 crores. We have seen that this is not the criteria now. Second, all the bank loans to micro, small and medium enterprises qualify under the priority sector lending, which is indeed correct. In fact, if you look at the RBI's master circular, RBI has categorically stated that all the bank loans to MSMEs will qualify as priority sector. So if you see the answer here, the right answer to this question is 2 only. So as far as this question is concerned, if a particular student knew about the recent changes in the definition of MSME, such a student would have easily attempted this particular question.